Hey guys, BirdDog John here with another, hopefully a quick tutorial on how to decode full NDI sources on your BirdDog encoder or decoder. Now, this method works on 4K family, FlexOUT, and Studio and Mini as of the day of this recording. And this process is fairly the same across all those platforms. I want to show you how to actually do that and get this working. So I'm going to show you my desktop, and the first thing we want to do is go to the WebUI of the unit. Now, with the Studio, it'll show you the IP on the front of the screen. Same thing with any of the 4K families. The Mini and the FlexOUT, however, don't have an LCD screen, and so you're going to want to either use the ARP table or consult your switch, your layer 2 switch, and see what MAC address has been assigned to what IP address. If you're not that technology savvy, I would strongly recommend you talk to somebody who does work with networks for a living, or you could use a program like Central Light, which would be a free download from our website. And the source should, if it's in decode mode, it should show up as a destination source for your inside the actual Central Light on your network. So you can open a program like Central Light. Now, decoders don't show up in NDI analysis and Studio Monitor because they're not generating NDI. They're actually waiting to receive NDI so they can convert it into HDMI or SDI. So you want to be it's a little bit tricky if you don't have any idea what's going on with the network or what IP has been assigned to it. But once you get there, you should be able to get to the WebUI. Now, once you have the IP address, you can punch that into the address bar of Google Chrome, and it will show up just like you see here with that's on my screen. The other option is you can try and use the short name or the BirdDog name, which is by default out of the box, BirdDog dash, and then the last 5 of the MAC address. So just the last 5 characters of the MAC address, .local. Now you'll notice here on my screen, I've actually changed mine to say FlexOut.local, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But that's what this would look like. If you really don't know the IP address and you just need to get to the WebUI, you can try HTTP // and then BirdDog dash the last 5 of the MAC address .local, and it should take you. It's kind of a shortcut for the DNS, a shortcut to get to the WebUI. Okay, so once we get here, and by the way, if you still can't get there, contact us at help@bird-dog.tv. We'll sort you out, okay? All right, so now that we're here on the WebUI, we're going to type in our password. Now, by default, this is just BirdDog, all lowercase, but you can change the password if you'd like. Unless you're in a secure situation, I don't necessarily think you need to, but that's up to you to decide. That's totally your subjective preference. So here we go. We're in the dashboard of the FlexOUT, and there's a few things we want to see. First, we want to see we're in DHCP, which is preferred. We're getting an IP address. The IP address is 1.21. And if we were to type this in, 192.168.1.21, and hit enter, it would take us to the WebUI of the FlexOUT. So that's how you would get there with the IP address, okay? Our network mask is correct, single subnet, 255.255.255.0. I'm running the latest firmware that's from our website right now, and we are currently decoding a source. The next thing I want to do is, if you want to change the short name of your device, remember I typed in BirdDog-FlexOut.local, and I could change that here to be something else. So by default, it would say BirdDog- the last 5 of the MAC.local. You can change it to whatever you'd like it to be, cam3.local or BirdDog-camera.local or whatever. But I personally like to leave BirdDog in the name. It helps when I'm looking at my sources on a list and NDI analysis or things like that. It helps me to actually differentiate who's who. And so I like to leave BirdDog- and then put a short name in there that references this device. Now I only have one FlexOUT in my office, and so guess what? This one's called FlexOut.local. And now I can type in BirdDog-FlexOut.local, and it'll take me to the WebUI. All right, so the next thing I want to do is go to the AV screen, and here we're going to see a couple of things. First, I'm going to click on Decode Settings, and here it's going to show me my options for setting up the decoder for finding the source. Now, I'm using Google Chrome, and that's on purpose. You should be using Google Chrome too. If you don't use Google Chrome, your results may vary, but Google Chrome is the only product that we use that we test all of our WebUIs against. So if you don't have it, please download Google Chrome and give that a try. Now, here on the decode settings, there's a few critical pieces of information that we need to customize. The current source is listed as a camera that's on my network, and it gives me the IP address of that camera and the port number that's being used. But I want to change this to be the P200 that I'm using right now to record this video. And so I'm going to hit the refresh button more than 3 times. Okay, so we're going to hit refresh. The screen's going to kind of refresh. Okay, it's going to do the little jittery thing here. You'll see it happen a couple of times. I've hit it 3 times. There's 4. Okay, that's 4 times. And now I'm going to click on available NDI sources, and it's going to show me the sources that the decoder, when it triggered the discovery service, found available on our network. And here it is, my BirdDog Studio P200 camera, and that's the short name I gave it, right? But it fills in these 2 boxes, BirdDog-Studio-P200 camera, and it gives me automatically the IP address of the camera with the port number, which is what we want. You can fill this information in manually, but in order for the device to really be working naturally and as expected, you need to hit the refresh button 3 or 4 times and then select the source from the list, and then hit apply. What you're going to see is up here, you're going to see NDI source status connected, and we can click on that tab and it will tell us what it's actually seeing. So here we see a 1080 signal, 60 frames. It's a 422 color bit depth. It's got 2-channel audio, 48 hertz, and it's running at about 135 megs. That is all expected. I expect that because that's what my P200 source is. Now, when I'm going from HDMI on my FlexOUT to a screen, I need to know what my screen is. First of all, is it RGB or YUV? If it's a television or a broadcast monitor or something like that, it's likely YUV. If it's a computer monitor or a lower grade television, it might be RGB. So if it's not working on YUV, you want to toggle between the 2 and see if that works. The other thing I want to be sure of, though, is I'll go back here to dashboard. It'll say 1080p 60. I want to be sure that the screen I'm using can actually decode 1080p 60. Not all screens and monitors can do all of the broadcast resolutions that are available. In particular, 5994 and 2997. Those 2 are not necessarily, they don't necessarily work on all televisions and computer monitors. But 1080p 60 usually works on all of them, especially anything made in the last 4 or 5 years. So be sure that your computer monitor that you're trying to view the actual decoded signal, or the television, or the product, the third-party product that you're receiving the HDMI signal on, or SDI, can actually receive the resolution that you're sending it. Remember that BirdDog products are not scalers. We're not taking a 1080p 60 signal to a FlexOUT and changing it to 1080p 30. That's not what this product does. Scalers are a different brand of product altogether. This is converting. This is taking Full-NDI and converting it into low latency video out HDMI, or in some regards SDI. So be sure that you're not scaling. You can only go to whatever it is that the source is. That's what you can convert it to. Be sure that your source is something that your monitor is able to read. Okay, folks, I hope that's been really helpful. We will check you guys in the next one, and come back here anytime for additional tutorials, or reach out to us at help@bird-dog.tv for any sort of questions that you have about your BirdDog NDI products. Take care.